The discovery. The mining vessel Helios drifted silently through the asteroid field at the edge of the Kuiper Belt, its powerful sensors scanning for rare earth elements and exotic minerals. Dr. Maya Chen stood at the observation deck, watching the endless void of space stretch before her. Something had been troubling her since they'd begun this expedition, an anomalous reading that defied all known parameters of standard geological formations. "Dr. Chen, you need to see this," her assistant Ravi called from the science bay. "The readings are off the charts." Maya rushed to the holographic display where a three-dimensional representation of asteroid KX 2187 rotated slowly. The outer shell appeared normal, a typical mixture of ice and rock, but deeper scans revealed something impossible, a perfectly symmetrical structure buried beneath millions of years of cosmic debris. "That's not natural," she whispered, her fingers dancing across the interface to enhance the image. "No way that formed through standard cosmic processes." Within hours, the extraction team had deployed to the asteroid's surface. Maya's heart pounded as she stepped into the excavation tunnel, each footstep echoing in the confined space. The tunnel walls transitioned from rough-hewn rock to something else, something smooth and distinctly engineered. "This material isn't in our database," Ravi said, his scanner emitting a series of confused beeps. "It's absorbing and redirecting our scanning frequencies." At the end of the tunnel lay a chamber that defied explanation. The walls pulsed with a soft blue light that seemed to respond to their presence. At the center floated a crystalline structure, suspended in what appeared to be a localized gravitational field. Maya approached cautiously, her scientific training battling with primal instinct that screamed danger. When her fingers touched the crystal, the world exploded with information. Images, data, sensations flooded her consciousness, not through her eyes or ears, but directly into her neural pathways. She saw Earth from space, watched as massive ships descended upon primitive human settlements. She witnessed genetic manipulation on a planetary scale, saw strands of DNA being selectively deactivated, potentials being deliberately stunted. "They limited us," she gasped, falling to her knees as the flood of information continued. "They engineered us to be less than what we could be." The return journey to Earth was a blur. Maya's mind raced with implications of what she'd discovered. The artifact contained irrefutable evidence that human evolution had been artificially constrained by an advanced alien civilization. According to the data, humans possess dormant genetic potential that, if activated, would transform them into something far beyond their current state. Their ship had barely docked at the orbital station when the first warning signs appeared. Communications were mysteriously jammed. The station security personnel who greeted them wore expressions that didn't quite match their welcoming words. Maya noticed subtle hand signals between them, the slight bulge of concealed weapons. "Something's wrong," she whispered to Ravi as they were escorted toward quarantine. "They know." The attack came swiftly. Armed personnel in unmarked black uniforms swarmed the docking bay. Maya's team scattered, running for their lives through the labyrinthine corridors of the station. Shots echoed behind them, not standard security stunners, but military-grade weapons designed to eliminate, not incapacitate. Maya found herself cornered in a maintenance corridor, the sound of boots approaching. A panel in the wall suddenly slid open, and a hand reached out, pulling her inside. "If you want to live, come with me now," a deep voice commanded. The man introduced himself as Elijah, part of a resistance movement that had been monitoring unusual activity in space for decades. His organization, the Awakened, had long suspected that humanity was being deliberately held back, though they'd never had concrete proof until now. "They call themselves the Overseers," Elijah explained as they navigated through hidden passageways that shouldn't exist on any official station blueprint. "They've been manipulating human development for millennia, ensuring we never reach our true potential." In a hidden safe house beneath the ruins of old Seattle, Maya met others like Elijah, scientists, soldiers, hackers, all united by the belief that humanity deserved to know the truth. They showed her evidence they'd gathered over years, suppressed technologies, unexplained historical anomalies, people who had spontaneously developed abilities beyond normal human capacity only to disappear shortly afterward. "The artifact you found isn't the first," explained Dr. Sarah Okonkwo, the group's lead scientist. "We've recovered fragments over the years, but never anything intact enough to provide conclusive evidence." Maya shared everything she'd learned from the artifact, how the aliens had identified Earth as a planet with exceptional evolutionary potential, how they'd feared the emergence of a species that could rival or surpass them. Their solution had been elegant and cruel: subtle genetic modifications that limited human cognitive abilities, physical strength, sensory perception, and lifespan. "But the modifications aren't permanent," Maya explained, excitement building in her voice. "The suppression requires maintenance, regular interventions throughout human history. That's why they've remained involved, working through human proxies who don't even understand who they truly serve." The team worked feverishly to decode the artifact's information, to understand the mechanism of suppression and how it might be reversed. Days turned into weeks as they pieced together the puzzle, always staying one step ahead of the shadowy government agencies hunting them. The breakthrough came unexpectedly. While analyzing Maya's neural patterns, they discovered that her interaction with the artifact had already begun changing her. Subtle neural pathways were awakening, dormant genes activating in response to the information transfer. "It's like it was designed to do this," Sarah said, reviewing Maya's brain scans, "to serve as a key that unlocks our potential." The first changes were subtle: enhanced memory, improved pattern recognition, heightened senses. Then came the more dramatic transformations. Maya found she could process information at speeds that defied explanation. Elijah demonstrated strength and reflexes far beyond human norms. Sarah discovered she could perceive electromagnetic fields directly. "It's spreading," Elijah reported, showing them data from around the world. "People with no direct contact with the artifact are beginning to show changes. It's like humanity is waking up." Reports flooded in from their global network: a child in Buenos Aires demonstrating telekinetic abilities, a professor in Tokyo who could instantly learn any language upon hearing it, a farmer in Kenya who could sense water hundreds of feet below ground. The awakening was accelerating, spreading like a benevolent contagion. But the overseers had noticed. Strange atmospheric disturbances signaled the arrival of ships in high orbit, massive vessels that remained cloaked to conventional detection systems, but that Maya and her enhanced team could now perceive clearly. "They're coming," Maya whispered, looking at the night sky through new eyes that could see far beyond the visible spectrum. "They're coming to put us back to sleep." The first wave of their attack wasn't military but informational: a targeted electromagnetic pulse designed to destroy all digital evidence of the discovery, followed by a global disinformation campaign to discredit anyone speaking about enhanced human abilities. "They still think they're dealing with the humans they engineered," Elijah said with a grim smile. "They have no idea what we're becoming." As Maya looked at the determined faces around her, she knew they stood at the precipice of the greatest revolution in human history. The forbidden truth had been hidden for too long. It was time for humanity to claim its birthright. The awakening. Dawn broke over a world on the edge of transformation. In the underground command center, Maya and her team worked with feverish intensity, racing against time to spread the awakening before the overseers could reestablish control. "The neural network is ready," announced Kai, their systems specialist whose enhanced intelligence had allowed him to create technology decades ahead of current capabilities. "Once activated, it will bypass conventional communications and transmit directly to human neural pathways." The plan was audacious: use the artifact's energy signature to create a global broadcast that would trigger the dormant genetic potential in every human simultaneously. The message would carry not just information about the overseers and their millennia of manipulation, but the actual activation sequence embedded in the artifact itself. "We'll only get one chance," Maya warned, her enhanced mind calculating probabilities faster than any supercomputer. The moment we broadcast, they'll know exactly where we are. Elijah nodded grimly. The defense teams are in position. We'll hold them off as long as we can. The broadcast began at precisely 3:00 UTC, a time when the majority of Earth's population would be in various sleep states, their minds most receptive to the neural patterns. The artifact at the center of their makeshift transmitter pulsed with energy, its crystalline structure resonating at frequencies that penetrated conventional shielding. Around the world, humans experienced something unprecedented, a collective awakening that transcended language, culture, and geography. People woke from sleep with new understanding, new abilities, new awareness of their place in the cosmos. The knowledge transferred wasn't just intellectual but cellular, a fundamental rewriting of what it meant to be human. The overseers responded immediately. Their ships decloaked, massive vessels of impossible geometries that defied human engineering principles. Ground-based operatives, humans who had been unwittingly serving alien masters for generations, mobilized to seize control points and communication centers. But they were too late. The awakening had taken hold. In New York, a transit worker discovered he could perceive structural weaknesses in the subway tunnels, preventing a catastrophic collapse. In Mumbai, a young doctor suddenly understood how to cure diseases that had plagued humanity for centuries. In Lagos, a teacher found she could connect directly with her students' minds, transferring knowledge without words. The overseer's first direct attack came 3 hours after the broadcast. Precision energy weapons targeted the underground facility, boring through layers of earth and concrete with terrifying efficiency. The defense teams responded with newly enhanced capabilities, soldiers who could anticipate attack patterns before they occurred, engineers who intuitively understood and countered alien technology. "We need to evacuate," Elijah shouted as the ceiling began to collapse. "The broadcast is complete. Our work here is done." Maya hesitated, her hands still on the artifact. "Not yet. There's more, so much more they've hidden from us." As the team retreated through escape tunnels, Maya stayed connected to the artifact, downloading centuries of suppressed knowledge directly into her enhanced neural network. She saw the truth of human origins, the real reason the overseers feared human potential, and most importantly, she learned about their one critical weakness. The surface world had descended into organized chaos. Enhanced humans were rapidly adapting to their new abilities, forming spontaneous networks of cooperation that transcended old divisions of nation, religion, and ideology. Military forces found themselves responding to a higher calling than orders from compromised command structures. The overseer vessels launched the second phase of their attack, atmospheric dispersal of compounds designed to reverse the awakening process. But humanity had evolved beyond their expectations. Enhanced immunologists worldwide identified the compounds and developed countermeasures within hours, distributing the information through the newly established neural network. Maya emerged from the underground complex just as dawn broke over the Rocky Mountains. Her mind was now connected to millions of awakened humans worldwide, a collective consciousness that remained individual yet unified in purpose. "They're preparing for direct intervention," she announced to the gathered resistance leaders. "Their command vessel is moving into low orbit." The largest of the alien ships descended through the atmosphere, a massive structure that blotted out the sun as it positioned itself above the United Nations headquarters in New York. A message broadcast simultaneously in all human languages demanded the immediate surrender of the unauthorized evolutionary acceleration technology and compliance with species development protocols. The world's response came not from political leaders or military commanders, but from the unified voice of awakened humanity. Maya stood on the steps of the UN building, her consciousness linked to billions as she addressed the overseers directly. "For too long, you have constrained our development, feared our potential, and denied us our birthright," she declared, her voice calm yet resonating with unshakable conviction. "That ends today. We know what we are. We know what you've hidden from us." The overseer ship emitted a pulsing field designed to disrupt neural activity. It washed over the gathered crowd harmlessly. Humanity had already adapted beyond its effects. Instead, enhanced humans worldwide began to focus their collective consciousness on the alien vessel, using abilities that had been dormant for millennia. The ship's systems began to fail as humans intuitively understood and countered its technology. Engineers who had never seen alien technology could suddenly perceive its weaknesses. Children could visualize the complex mathematics behind its operation and identify the flaws. "We don't seek revenge," Maya continued, addressing not just the overseers, but all of awakened humanity. "We seek our rightful place, not as your subjects or experiments, but as equals." The standoff lasted 3 days. Around the world, humans demonstrated capabilities that the overseers had specifically engineered to prevent. Telekinetic abilities that could manipulate matter at the atomic level, cognitive processing that could solve problems millennia beyond current science, perfect empathic connections that made deception impossible. Finally, the overseer command ship requested direct communication. Their representative, a beam of shifting luminescence rather than solid form, materialized before the UN Security Council. "You were never meant to develop so quickly," the being stated, its thoughts translated into human language. "Your species has the potential to become something terrible. We have seen it before." "Or something wonderful," Maya countered. "You feared what we might become, so you decided for us. That choice was never yours to make." The negotiations that followed rewrote humanity's understanding of the cosmos. The overseers, or the galactic custodians as they called themselves, revealed the existence of hundreds of spacefaring civilizations, most carefully managed to prevent the emergence of what they called transcendent species. Humanity had broken the pattern. In just days, they had achieved evolutionary advances that should have taken millennia, proving that the suppression had been the only thing holding them back. More importantly, they had done so without descending into the chaos or destructive impulses the custodians had feared. 1 month after the awakening, the first human ships prepared to leave the solar system. Vessels created through the combined ingenuity of billions of enhanced minds. Maya stood at the observation deck of the flagship, watching Earth grow smaller behind them. "What do you think we'll find out there?" Elijah asked, joining her at the viewport. Maya smiled, her enhanced perception already reaching toward distant stars. "Everything they tried to hide from us. Everything we were meant to be." As the ship accelerated beyond the boundaries of conventional physics, humanity prepared to take its first steps into a universe that had feared its coming. The forbidden truth had been revealed at last, and nothing would ever be the same.